Hello, I'm Edward Tarte. In the 1960s, I was a Catholic priest for 5 years. Now I am an atheist, which simply means that I find no credible evidence that any God exists. In this video, I focus on the Catholic Church's holy days of obligation. I will need to explain clearly what is implied by that word obligation. But first I need to lay some groundwork of Catholic doctrine. I want to be clear, I reject the Catholic doctrines that I am about to explain. Mortal sin is defined by the Catholic Church as a big sin, big enough to send a person to hell. If a person realizes that something is a mortal sin, but deliberately does it anyway and dies unrepentant, that person will go to hell. That is, beginning immediately after death, the person's soul will endure endless agony. Later, at some unknown future date, the person's body will rise from the dead, be reunited with the soul, and the person's body will endure severe physical torture forever. For example, murder is intrinsically a big sin, a mortal sin. I agree, murder is a horrible thing to do. But the Catholic Church has authority from God to designate as mortal sins behavior that is not intrinsically sinful. For example, when I was in the seminary, about 7 months away from the priesthood, I became a deacon. Starting then, I incurred the obligation to pray every day, moving my lips, the Catholic Church's official priestly prayer readings, lasting over an hour a day, mostly Psalms from the Bible, in Latin, under threat of mortal sin. That means that if I deliberately omitted even 10 or 15 minutes of these so-called prayers one single day and remained unrepentant, I would go to hell. Now I can lead into a discussion of Catholic holy days of obligation. The Catholic Church says God is all good, and we must therefore worship Him publicly and regularly. So the Catholic Church makes this very specific. It obliges Catholics to attend the Church's supreme worship service, the Mass, every Sunday under pain of mortal sin. If a Catholic understands this, is able to attend Mass, but deliberately does not, on one Sunday, without repentance, that Catholic will go to hell. Besides Sundays, there are about 5 additional days per year on which a Catholic has this same obligation. And these are called holy days of obligation. They are various special Catholic religious days. One of them is Christmas, another is New Year's Day. Another happens to be November 1st, known as All Saints' Day. As on Sundays, Catholics have the obligation to attend Mass on every holy day of obligation, or else go to hell. An exception was this year, 2010, when November 1st was on a Monday. The Catholic Church excused Catholics of the United States this year because it would have involved having to go to Mass 2 days in a row, Sunday and Monday. However, next year, 2011, November 1st will be on a Tuesday, so Catholics will have to go to Mass on that day, or else go to hell. And when in the life of a Catholic does all this obligation under threat of hell begin? We were taught in the seminary that it begins at age 7. Little children whose brains and reasoning powers are just beginning to develop are taught how to be Catholics. They are taught the doctrine of hell long before they can make reasoned decisions about their religious belief. I say, this is child abuse. And I also say the following: Catholic dogma has no credible evidence to support it. There is no credible evidence that any God exists, and therefore the Catholic Church's claim of authority from God has no basis. There is no credible basis for belief in hell. Hell as eternal torture is the most evil of all religious doctrines. I was once a Catholic priest, and I taught all these doctrines. I will never again worship a God who authorizes eternal torture. I will never again adhere to a religion that claims the power from a God to designate as sins deeds that are not intrinsically sinful. In so many ways, the Catholic Church is false and evil. I have other videos. If you are a non-Catholic but a believer, please do not feel good about this video. I say your religion is false and evil also, and I have videos. To all you believers, please watch my video on hell if you haven't already. And to all of you, believers and non-believers alike, thank you for watching this video.